Welcome back to another episode. Before we get started, if you could be so kind to hit that subscribe button. Not actually sure where it's at, but it's down there. It says subscribe. Can't miss it. Appreciate it. Today I'm going to start this episode with a little story time about how I got driveway scammed. And if you're thinking, how the heck, Nick, did you get driveway scammed? I'm going to tell you. I was living in Naperville. It was May, I believe, 2021. Pretty hot out. I was in the backyard push mowing my yard, and I also had a rider, but I was trying to get my steps in, get all lean for summer. No big deal. And as I make my turn, I start walking, and I realize that there's a guy in my backyard, so I kind of jump, and I'm a little jumpy. And I said, "Hey, how can I help you, buddy?" And he goes, "Oh, hey, sorry, didn't mean to startle you, but we're in the neighborhood, my uncle and I, and we're seal coating some of your neighbor's house, and we noticed your driveway could really use it, and we would love to give you a quote." So I'm kind of thinking like, okay, all right. So I shut my mower off and I said, "Let's go take a peek at what I'm working with here." So we go out there, look at my driveway. It looks like a standard driveway that hasn't probably had any seal coating for several years. And he's talking, he's like, "Hey, we can do these cracks and we can put some sealer on it and it'll level it out and it'll be black, seal coated. It'd be great for the next, 4 to 5 years." And I was like, "Well, what does this cost?" He said, "Your driveway, your length and the width, and it's about 100 feet. Pretty long driveway. House was 1,800 square feet. I don't like throwing out numbers, but when they're big, sometimes you got to throw them out. And 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. So he's like, $200. I was like, okay. You know what? Yeah, that sounds great. I'm sure I need to do this at some point. Let's do it. So he's like, awesome. He's like, we'll get started here in a couple minutes once we finish with so and so. I was like, great. Finish mowing the lawn, go back into my house. I'm in my office and they're working. I can see them and they're there for 2 hours, whatever, doing the whole thing, spraying, all this jazz. Guy comes back, knocks on my door. I open up. He goes, "Hey, how does everything look?" And I'm looking. I'm like, "Oh, it's jet black." I'm like, "Oh, it looks great. I really appreciate it." And thanks so much. He's like, "Yeah, everything went great. We put all this sealer and all this stuff on it, and it should level out and be perfect. I wouldn't drive on it for a day or whatever." He goes, "But we went a little over with our sealant and the head stuff we had used. Your driveway was a lot longer than we thought." I was like, "That's all right." I said, "How much did you guys go over?" He said, $900. I said, "Excuse me. It sounded like you said 900." He goes, "Yeah, I'm so sorry. We didn't anticipate this. We had to use, triple the amount of sealer and all this stuff. There was way more cracks." And I was like, "No, no, no, no. There's a 0% chance I'm giving you $900 for what you just did here in 2 hours." I go, "So that's not happening." And he's like, "I understand, but we were out here, we're working hard. You said it looks great." He's like, I'll go talk to my uncle and we'll come back." His uncle's this old, weird, just gross looking dude sitting in his truck. That was also helping. 5 minutes later, guy comes back. He goes, "Talk to my uncle," and he feels bad, and I feel bad that we were way off on our estimate. He goes, "We'll do 750 if you can do that. I think that's fair, even though we won't be making much money." And I said, "No, no, I'm not giving you $750 to seal coat my driveway." Like that would be like me going to your house saying, "Hey, $20 if I mow your lawn." I mow it, and then say, "Hey, your lawn was a lot bigger than I thought. I need $200." I go, you'd be outraged. So he's like, "I understand, but this and that. And we did such a good job." And he's like, "I'll go back and talk to my uncle." Same thing. Goes back, comes back 5, 10 minutes later, and he said, "I'm so sorry, but the least we can do, where we probably lose money, is $600. That's the best we can do." And I'm sitting there thinking like this. I said, "This isn't right." He's like, "I know, I'm so sorry. I take total responsibility. I was wrong, and I feel bad for my uncle, and I feel bad for you, and so on and so forth." So I give the guy $600, and I was like, "Whatever, blah blah blah. It's not how you do business," kind of thing. So then I'm talking to someone later that day, telling them the story, and he says, "Oh, dude, those are gypsies. They scammed you." I said, "Gypsies? Like what? What is that?" He said they literally just drive around, town to town, neighborhood to neighborhood, county to county, state to state, and they do this nonstop all over. That's what they do. They do a job, they charge you a million times for it. Sometimes they'll like say they're going to do more and take money and then come back for it and never come back. And he's like, you got scammed. And I was like, oh my gosh. So then I wind up going to look at my driveway later that night, and they literally painted my driveway black for the most part. Maybe it was a little bit of something else in there, but if we're being honest with ourselves, and I need to be honest, they pretty much just spray painted, or with whatever that was, they painted my driveway black. So part of me wants to find this guy, and I tried calling the number that he gave me back on the pamphlet. Didn't go anywhere. Part of me wanted to go up there and just go to work on his face. Just, speed bag him. And then another part of me was like, that's a pretty good scam. Those guys got me pretty good. And I feel like I'm in touch with what a scammer might work or do, and they got me. They got me good. So hopefully that helps one of you out there. If not, I apologize for wasting your time. Today's guest, I wanted to go old school. I really did want to get inside the mind of a person who doesn't have to go to work anymore. He worked for the state of Illinois for 30 some odd years, and now he's retired. He's a diehard White Sox fan. He'll fish any chance he gets, but the best part about him is he hates a lot of things. And I'm going to push his buttons today best I can to bring that out of him. So, without any more introduction, I'd like you guys to meet my Uncle Rob. Rob, thanks for coming on the show. You happy to be here?
Yeah, a little nervous, but I'm good. Hard act to follow from last week, but okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's not a hard act to follow. Did you take off work to come here today?
No, I was actually off today.
You were off?
Yeah.
It's good to know. Good to know.
Yeah, yesterday too.
Oh, yeah? The fans are excited. A lot of questions, a lot of phone calls. It's been off the hook, actually. I haven't had a chance to get back to everybody. But before we dive in, Robbo, to life as a retired man, I want to bring it back to the beginning. What year were you born?
1957.
Okay. Do you consider yourself a 60s kid or a 70s kid?
I guess 60s kid. I grew up in the 60s. I was born in the 50s, but I would definitely say 60s were, like a Sandlot kind of time in life, how I grew up.
Okay. I like it. I want to get you worked up early. So here, I want you to rank these 1, 2, and 3, 1 being the most.
Okay.
Which of these gets you the most upset? Buying a car, going with a group to Chili's, or the Chicago Cubs? Which one of those gets you the most upset?
Boy, those are 3 good ones. Definitely the Cubs. I can get the most worked up about, but I really hate buying a car more than anybody can imagine. So maybe that has to be number 1. Just on if I ever, I guess buying a car. If I never have to again, that'd be great.
Okay, good to know. So is buying a car 1 or is it the Cubs?
Buying a car would be. Well, it's just because it's in recent memory, probably my least favorite. I mean, Cubs winning the World Series was probably the worst day of my life, but hard to say. Hard to rank them. I don't know. They're different.
Okay.
I don't know.
No, you did great. In the 70s, Rob, where you essentially were a teenager and above, do you spend more time at the roller rink or the bowling alley?
Bowling alley.
Yeah?
Easily. Yeah, bowling alley was preferred hangout for a lot of different reasons. Wasn't a roller rink kind of guy unless you could get a date or something, but that wanted to go there. But I didn't really like roller skating.
Could you skate though? Were you pretty nice on those wheels?
I could go around. I wasn't a backwards kind of guy or really get into the music portion of it or anything. Wasn't a big skater. Ice or roller, really.
Okay. My next question is, what the hell does somebody do at a bowling alley for more than, I would say, an hour?
It was a hangout. It was a lot like, I don't know, maybe you went to the mall or you went to a teen center or something. That's what the bowling alley was. You sit in the back. They had pinball machines. You could just go there and get a Coke at the soda shop and talk to the girls working there. Just kind of hang out. You weren't really doing anything. Watch other people bowl. As we got a little older, we would get guys that hung out at the bar to go get us beer at the liquor store and bring it back, and we would go drink it in the park, kind of thing. That was, I don't know, maybe a few years later, but that was kind of a hangout just because bunch of degenerates just sitting around, kind of funny to watch. So people watching.
So not a lot of bowling, it sounds like.
Personally, no. We bowled a little bit, but it wasn't. You didn't go to the bowling alley to bowl all the time. Pool. They had pool tables, 2 big billiard tables. I like playing pool when I was younger, and pinball machines was my favorite.
Okay. What was it like growing up in that era as a white man with a big afro? Because if you guys could see Uncle Rob, I'm talking back in the day, his hair was out to here. What was that like?
I didn't know how ridiculous it was going to look down the road, but in 1971 or something, it was pretty common. If you look back at the bands and the things of back then, it wasn't quite as outrageous as it looks now. There was no black people in my neighborhood, so you weren't competing with that as an afro.
It's true.
But
were you cooler back then? The bigger your hair was, or like the longer your hair was?
No, I don't think so. I think you thought like maybe you fit in. Probably looking back on it, it's probably a bad look. I would probably change it if I could go back.
Oh yeah, looking back, it was quite the look. Okay, that brings us into our next little question here. Is you used to smoke some cigarettes hard, right, back in the day?
Yeah, always smoked a lot, and still miss it.
Oh, so that's what we're gonna get into here. You were a Camel guy, right? Were you a Camel cigarette guy your whole kind of growing up?
Yeah, always smoked Camel filters, never the straights, except this is a joke. And then as later when I was trying to be better, I smoked Camel lights, but that was for a few years. But I did go through a stretch where I tried every cigarette and saved the pack.
Oh.
I went every single one sold just as a gimmick one time. So I smoked 100 different kinds.
I feel like I've never smoked a cigarette in my life, but I feel like Marlboro would be a nice little, I don't know, brand to put your name by.
Marlboros had their own guys. They thought they were something. I don't know. The Marlboro guys, I don't know how to put it. Like some people drank Budweiser, some people smoked Marlboros. It was like their own group, like Harley riders. Marlboro guys thought they were cooler than so I purposely stayed away from Marlboros. I'm
a Camel man now.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know. And then you've talked about before, you quit cold turkey, right?
Well, I quit, and then for a while there, I would only smoke like when I would go out of town or go on a fishing trip or something like that. So I quit smoking at home or at work, but I would smoke when I went out of town. I just started going out of town a lot. Was my gimmick. But no, and then I quit cold turkey just because I was starting to feel real crappy.
Okay. And then my last cigarette question is, you haven't smoked since, right? Once you quit, you've been...
Right.
When was that?
I think somebody... I don't remember. I think it was 2001.
Okay.
I can't swear to it.
No, I won't make you. At your height, how many packs a day were we ripping through?
Always over a pack, under 2, unless it was like a card game or something. Then maybe you'd smoke the full 2, but usually between 1 and 2.
All right, we moved that thing out of Rob's face. With a face like that, we wanted to get a little more camera time. All right, enough about your past, Rob. Nobody cares, okay? Quit talking about your past. We want to talk about retired life. Okay? How nice is it?
It's really nice. I almost feel bad talking to people if your listeners are workers, because I got nothing in common with them anymore. But thank you.
Trying to get that face in
got
there.
the face of radio.
Yeah.
But
beautiful face.
No, retirement just took me a little while, a few months after first retired to get in the hang of not doing shit, and then now it just gets better and better. I couldn't go back to work. I'm thoroughly broken from the stuff. I don't go out, even drive anywhere if it's rush hour or anything, or if it's weekends. I don't really have anything in common with working people anymore. It's really great.
Rush hours for losers.
Exactly. Tuesday at 9:00, you go to Home Depot. There's no one there. So why would you go on a Saturday? It'd be stupid.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Mike. How long did you work for the state of Illinois before you retired?
Just over 32 years.
Ooh.
Seemed longer.
Yeah, did it? Yeah. Punched the clock for 32 straight.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, you don't have a care in the world.
No, and yeah, do everything on my own time, do some volunteer work and stuff, but a lot of just goofing off and drinking coffee, and whenever the hell I want to do it, I do it. So it's really quite nice. I'd recommend it. Plot along and get that retirement package.
Is there anything negative about being retired? Something you hate or really dislike? Or is it all just smooth sailing being retired?
I guess there's nothing I hate. I wish I had more money. Maybe had I planned ahead a little better, would have, with 10 years to go, maybe figured out a way to salt away even more money. I mean, I'm not broke. I just having lots of time off lends itself to wanting to do more things, which cost more money. So I had it planned out how much money I would need, and I could use a little more.
Okay, that kind of segues again into my next question. So you are how old? 66?
66, just
66.
Turned it. I know I look younger, but
Boy, do you. And look at how tan he is. The middle of February, this guy over here, golden brown. My next question would be is if you could go back to being 35 or 40, so we'll call it 25, 30 years, and you could do one of two things. Would you exercise a little more or would you eat a little better? If you could go back knowing what you know now to being 35. And those are your two options.
probably eat better. I didn't know that there was such a thing as nutrition, the way kids do today, or people do today.
Not me, but most people.
So I think that I could eat better because I actually like healthy foods now that I have health problems and I got to eat better. I'm like, I realize I like most of that stuff. So I could be, I think I could have changed that. Easy exercise. I was always skinny and I exercised. So it wasn't, I never went to a fitness center, but I never sat around either. So I think we got exercise a little differently back then, maybe.
Okay. And now you're retired and you have a lake house up in Wisconsin. Do you recommend a lake house for anybody who's retired or not retired? Or is it more of a pain in the you-know-what and you wish you didn't have it kind of thing, but now you have it? Break it down real quick.
No, I think it's one of the coolest things I've ever done. Own that with my son, and I sit up there and I have to pinch myself to believe that I actually have it. Now, I don't want any of you or your listeners to buy houses near me or be around. Mm-hmm. I'd rather there's no one around, which I really like about my lake house is that it's less people. So I'm not encouraging anyone. I think you should all just go to Disney World or something where I won't go. And then I'd rather have, but I would, if you had a chance, do it.
Right. And then, but nobody else should go to northern Wisconsin.
It's full enough. Yeah. I don't.
Is that capacity?
Yeah. I don't really need any more people for me to have fun up there. Less is more when it comes to other humans.
Yep. So speaking about how much you hate other humans and most people in general, I got a little fun game that I invented.
Present company excluded.
I would assume you like me most of the time. It's a little fun game I called What Does Rob Hate More? Okay? And I need you to elaborate on why you hate whichever one you hate more.
Okay.
You okay to play this game?
I think so. I hate so many things it's hard to quantify, but go ahead.
Okay.
I'll give it a go.
No family members are in here.
Okay. I'll give it my best shot.
Thank you. What do you hate more? Computers or being in a group chat?
Computers.
And why?
They're supposed to help you out. They always piss me off. It always takes for a while. You got passwords, you got everything. They always screw up and it takes me way longer than it would if it didn't exist.
Okay, that's fair. Do you think you like the White Sox more or do you hate the Cubs more? Because everything that I've ever encountered with you is your hatred for the Cubs almost surpasses your love for the White Sox.
It's close. It's close, but I'd rather have a White Sox win than a Cubs loss, but it's very close.
Would you rather the White Sox win the World Series or the Cubs go 5-157?
Yeah, the Sox have always stunk in my lifetime except for 1 year. So I hung on to my bitterness for the Cubs, my hatred for them, just because you didn't have anything else to root for. The Sox sucked. But in the truth, I'd rather see a White Sox World Series.
You've really grown.
Yeah, I have.
It's impressive what you're doing over there.
It took me 50 years to get here.
No, it's inspiring. What does Rob hate more? When someone posts something on Facebook or when someone posts you on Facebook?
I don't have a Facebook account. I utterly despise when I hear someone put me on there. I think it should be illegal. It should be illegal. I don't know how to say it. You want to post a picture of yourself? I don't give a shit what you're doing. Leave me off of it without my authorization. I think it should be illegal.
Okay, so when someone posts you, it's way worse.
Way worse.
And you think they should be thrown in jail?
If they want to post stuff to each other or what you had, a picture of your enchilada for lunch and want to show the world that that's what you had, I couldn't give a shit because I'll never see it. But leave me out of it, please. Or without my written permission in triplicate that you can prove. Other than that, leave me out of it. I don't see why you want me on there even.
I want you on there now. Now that I know all this, I think I'd like you on there. What does Rob hate more? Trying to talk to somebody on customer service, or how expensive groceries have gotten?
Wow, you've done some research on these questions. I gotta tip my cap. You've hit some of my
I may have sent a few texts to some of your family members.
Customer service,
shout out little Monica,
can be the worst. Again, not to be prejudiced, but sometimes with people I don't understand well, it really can get me going. So I would say that more.
Okay. So you're fine with the price of groceries?
I like to bitch about it, but I really don't care. I'll just buy more.
Okay. And lastly, and what does Rob hate more? Someone leaves you a long voicemail or someone leaves you a long text message?
Long voicemails are pretty annoying. Text message, I can scan it, and then if I had somebody, I would not nobody here, but I don't have to read it all.
Okay. That's good. Well, that's it for what does Rob hate more. You did great.
Okay.
I'd give you A- on hate. You do like to gamble a little bit.
Yes.
If you went into a casino with only $100, how would you spend it at the casino? Because I know you like to gamble and do a little shaking and moving.
I like roulette quite a bit, but it's bad odds. I think video poker would probably be I would spend majority of my time. Roulette or blackjack, I would spend the rest on, depending on how I'm doing. If I'm winning more, I'd rather play those. If to play, I can stretch my money a little more. Video poker, probably my favorite.
Okay. This question comes from a viewer. His name's Plow. I believe you've met him before.
Oh, one of my favorites.
Yeah, he wants to know why you only like the top half of a Miller High Life and you don't like the bottom half.
Oh, very simple. I like it. My beer ice cold, colder the better. And by drinking a beer halfway through it starts to get a little less than ice cold. And the foamy bottom part of it's like, I don't know, like backwash kind of thing we used to call it. But if I was really rich, I would only drink the top half and have my butler just bring me another ice cold one and throw that half away every time.
Oh, man. Having a butler sounds nice, doesn't it?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm dreaming, I mean, it's a podcast. I can say what I want.
For sure. For sure. So, yeah, butler and top half of a nice Miller High Life.
I don't know. I'm dreaming.
Nope. Do you think anybody in the state of Illinois says goddamn more than you?
Oh, boy. I have been told that I say it a lot. I don't really hear myself saying it.
Because, I mean, when you're excited, you say goddamn right. And then when you're pissed off, you say god damn it. And you
right.
There's a lot of GDs.
I do swear more than I think I do. Okay. So it's hard for me to answer. I don't hear myself. But probably, I'm probably right up there. I come from a long family of people that swore a lot.
It's good to know. Now, how long have you been married to your wife, Monica?
42 years, I believe.
Monica, we're going to say that's correct. What's the secret to 42 years of marriage? Or a tip? Or something you're like, hey, this is going to work.
I would say pick your battles. I personally let a lot of things go that bug me. I mean, I know it sounds like everything bugs me, but
yeah, imagine how much stuff she let go.
Right, sure. But a lot of times I don't say anything, and stuff's like, what the fuck? I just ignore it. But pick your battles. Don't argue about every little thing. Some of it doesn't matter. If it really does matter, dig your heels in and say that's important. I would say is a good tip, and let the rest of the stuff go because. Like I'm sure I've told you, we're no picnic to live with. So you gotta allow other people to have their imperfections because.
Yeah. Now, I think you have a few. I've never been married for 42 years, so this is hard for me to say. But I feel like having hobbies too is huge. Like getting out of the house, golfing or fishing, or fantasy football with your boys or something that kind of.
Right. I've always been
Gets you out
amazed
of
at
the
people
mix.
that work together and spend every minute together and
Losers, right?
right, walking, holding hand in the park all day long. It's like, wow. It's like, I don't know. I liked, we did things separately. You know, I would go fishing. She'd go see her mom. We did vacations together, but we also had our own interests. So I don't know that our plan works for others.
Could you imagine if she just wanted to hold your hand and walk around the park every day?
I'm not that guy.
I have to lock your gun up.
Yeah. I like walking around back of your property by myself.
I like it. I like it. Last, we have a couple more items. You got rich, essentially, on Chipotle stock.
Very lucky. I tip my cap to you. You kind of led me down that way a little bit.
Yeah. How many shares did you buy early, and what was it at? It was something cool, like,
I bought 10 shares at $300,
and now it's at $2,700.
but I sold them when it went up. I sold half of them. No, I sold all 10 of them when it went up to 400 because I
Okay.
made $1,000 like in right away, and I was like, oh man, that's pretty cool. Made $1,000, you know. And then it went back down to 400, and I thought, no, I got to still buy some. So I bought 5 shares at 400, and now whatever it is,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
at
know. what it is.
2,700 last I checked.
Yeah.
So
I've hung on to those. Should have kept all 10, I guess, but
a lot of Miller High Lifes, just the top
yeah.
half. Good to
But,
know.
but I also have Sears. So
You did have Sears
I'm
that
not
went
a
to
stock
zero.
genius, so
Yeah, but Sears was big when you in 1980.
yeah. For 112 years, it was like Walmart and Home Depot wrapped into one, but now it's no longer anything.
And then the last thing we want to talk about before we get into our little game is I've heard you say this 100 times. You say America's the greatest country ever. You go to other places.
Goddamn right.
There you go. You go to other places. You visit other places. You talk about land. Real quick, just give a synopsis of why you think America is the best.
Because of the freedoms that you can travel around from state to state. I can drive from here to Texas, go through 6 other states. No one bothers me. I can earn whatever I want, keep whatever I want. People that bitch too much, friggin' move. You know, go look around. I've traveled. I've been to Europe. I've been to Canada. I've been to other places. Mexico. It's like, you don't like it here, move. Go find Shangri-La somewhere else. I'll help you pack, because it really is. You can own a house here. You can make as much as you want. If you want to live in a shitty trailer with your car in the front yard, you can do that too. Just find the right town. You can do whatever you want. You know, if you want to buy a mansion, work hard, and you can do anything. And it's really one of the few countries that allows you to have this, be a big landowner, unless you're a millionaire, you know. And I think for that reasons, and I think just I don't know, not to get too deep in it, but the founding fathers had it all figured out. There's no dictators, you know. Present guys maybe think they want to be, but it really is, there's checks and balances in this country, and government doesn't know that I exist and allows me to do whatever the hell I want. It's pretty good. Pay my taxes, but other than that, there's no other country like it. I'll stay with that.
That just got me fired up, Rob. I live here. I want to stay here.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you for all that. Now we're going to move into our last segment. Okay. It's called The Titanic.
Okay.
Nick, with my name in it. And it's going to be 12 questions, rapid fire. Don't take any longer than 4 seconds.
Okay.
And we'll see if you go down with the ship or if you're one of the survivors.
Okay. Don't tell me how the movie ends, because I haven't seen it yet.
Nope.
Ready.
Okay. Uncle Rob, what is the best movie of all time?
Big fan of Jaws, and I'd say or Shawshank Redemption, one of those two.
Gotta pick one. Gotta pick one.
I'll take Shawshank just for the sake of this argument.
Doing a hard time?
Yeah.
I like it. Most overrated athlete ever.
Most overrated athlete ever. Wow.
you hear
Oh,
this
Ron
guy-
Santo.
Ron Santo. Nothing like a 1970s Cub to really show his hatred.
Certain people will get that reference.
What time does Uncle Rob go to bed? Usually.
11.
Okay. How does Uncle Rob take his coffee?
Black.
That's a power answer. I wish I was black. I'm an iced, sugar-free vanilla guy, and I just look.
Yeah.
Every time I order it, I just
you
hope
don't
no
really
one's
need
looking at
coffee.
me.
You could put that in anything. Just put
know.
that in high C or something.
I feel so soft every time I order it. I almost want to order it on my app or something, and then just pick it up with a blindfold or something.
Order it black. Try it. You'll acquire taste.
I have,
for it.
and I threw up. Okay, here's a new question.
Okay.
If I give you a straw, how would you open it? And the reason I ask is few years ago, I was in Utah, and I saw someone open a straw by ripping off like the little wrapper. They ripped it. And my entire life, I had just taken that straw and I beat it down on the ground until the straw comes up the top. And now I'm a tear guy for life. So I was wondering how you open a straw.
I don't like straws with my soft drinks.
I don't ever use a straw for the record.
I would rip it and then went back to the thing. And if you were goofing around, you blow the other end off. Would be my favorite move.
Yeah, that's lethal. I like it. I like it. Would you rather pee outside or in a bathroom?
Outside.
Isn't it the best?
It's the best.
Oh.
If I had a urinal in my house, for God's sakes, remember the baseball player guy whose dad had put a urinal in? Inside would be all right. I love pissing outside. I'm sorry.
But even a urinal, I still want to go outside.
Yeah.
You don't have to aim. You're just out there.
I feel sorry for women that they don't even understand it, but it's the greatest.
Oh, it really is. Makes me want to go outside right now in America. Favorite item, and I know you're not as big as a McDonald's guy as I am, and I don't think anybody's as big as a McDonald's guy as I am, but best item on their menu.
Best item on their menu. I was always a Big Mac guy when I ate there. I don't eat there very often. Don't like their breakfast stuff. I would say Big Mac.
Okay. I'm about to kick you off the show for not liking their breakfast stuff, but you are my uncle.
Well, what's that one that you got in South Carolina like every friggin' morning for 10 days in a row?
It was a Southern-style chicken biscuit, but they only had it in the South, so we were on a trip.
Yeah.
I hit that place hard.
First day it was good. The second day I was like, why the hell would I eat this again?
The eighth day was unbelievable still. Would you rather a home-cooked meal or a nice dinner out?
Home cooked meal.
And what would be that meal of choice, real quick?
Boy, it could be even just meatloaf or pot roast are a couple of my favorites.
Okay.
Pasta. Yeah, I don't like eating out.
That's your nickname in high school, wasn't it? Pot roast? Okay. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
So pot roast. When you wake up, do you remember your dreams?
Rarely. Sometimes if I wake up in a real like jolt where I like wake up in the middle of the night, I'll like remember the dream for that little bit. In the morning, I don't remember anything that happened.
Okay.
Normally.
Greatest band of all time?
My favorite, kind of.
Your
I'd
favorite
say the Rolling Stones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like it. You and a 5-foot-long alligator are in a cage. Only one walks out.
5-foot-long alligator.
5-foot-long alligator. You got to think he's probably 2.5, 3 feet. His tail's probably another 2.5, 3 feet.
Okay.
But you're in your current state at 66. You or that alligator, only one of you guys coming out. Who's coming out?
I'd like to think me, but I don't know. I'd probably be pretty bitten up.
Okay.
But he'd be in for the fight of his life. Let's say that.
Okay.
I don't know why. I don't know.
So you're going with yourself?
I'm gonna, yeah.
Yeah, you really enjoyed that one. It sounded like
I did. It seems so absurd, but
I'd pay good money to sit. I guess cage side.
Yeah.
How many pillows do you sleep with?
Usually just one. I like a kind of a small. Otherwise, I get a neck ache. Don't want too much elevation. Once in a while, I'll have a second, but I don't like it.
Best gas station snack?
Boy, I'm not much of a.
All you do is eat snacks. You yelled at me one time for not eating snacks.
Yeah, but I don't go to gas stations for them. I would say a bag of chips or a bag of Fritos would probably be my favorite. Chili Fritos.
Okay. If you go to a restaurant you've been to 25 times before, are you the kind of guy who sticks to his guns and gets the same thing every time, or are you exploring that menu? Because I don't ever explore. If I like something and I go to that restaurant, I'm going to get that same thing until that place closes.
Yeah, I pretty much don't vary. If I really like something, I'll just go. Then I would automatically get it. If it's just an average restaurant, I'm going back there. I would try different things. I usually find out what the special is, or I'll ask the waitress, "What the hell do you sell the most stuff? Give me one of those, and I'll eat that."
Okay.
But
this is the last question, Rob. You ready?
Boy, yeah, okay.
Do you give homeless people money?
Once in a while, my bid is if I see them and I have like them in my car, like the guys that do on the side, I always carry a granola bar and water in my car on the side, and I give them that. I don't really like giving them money because I'm always a little confused whether is that an honest day's living or not. I give a lot to charities, but I don't give to homeless people wandering around very often. I'll give them food or drink.
Yeah, you guys are also looking at a man who rings the bell every Christmas. The Salvation Army. Show us how you ring the bell. Show us your.
Yeah. It's just yeah.
What a ring.
I bring kids with me, and we raise money. Big fan of Salvation Army. They do a real nice job of giving back without wasting any money, and that's what I like about them. They do a lot for the community, and they don't waste any money. So.
Mm-hmm. We just talked for about 30 minutes, Rob, and that was the first nice thing we heard out of you. So it's really nice to end on a high note like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, after all
my
the
wife
hate.
will be happy, surprised you got anything out of me, but...
Going to end today's show with a new segment called Dick Pick of the Week. Dick Pick. Whoa. This is a family podcast. Okay? I got little nieces and nephews who watch this show religiously. Sure, it's episode 2, but that doesn't matter. Those little monsters are diehards. They'd camp out the night before if there were tickets. Dick Pick of the Week. My father's name is Richard Hall. And if you know him really well, he goes by Dick. And if you know him really well, guy likes to gamble. Loves some action. He's the kind of guy that, let's say it's late March and there's nothing on TV, you can't gamble. Maybe it's a holiday like Labor Day. Not really sure if Labor Day's in March. But it should be. Nobody likes labor. Make it March. But let's say there's nothing on TV, nothing to gamble on. He will find a cricket match where Sri Lanka is given 4 against New Delhi. And he'll take New Delhi in those points, and he'll bet $100 on it. And he'll watch all 17 days of that match until a winner is determined. So he's going to give you today's pick for his pick of the week. Don't take it to the bank. He usually loses. But he does sometimes win. Here is your Dick Pick of the Week.
Welcome to Dick's Pick. This has to do with the Super Bowl this weekend. Simply said, it's a pity if you don't take Kansas City money line. Good luck.
Well, we can't thank you enough, Rob. I know the viewers are going to go nuts for everything that you just, discussed, the life of a retired man. So just wanted to thank you again.
Okay, well, you're welcome. Hope I didn't embarrass myself or anybody in the family, but there we go.
Crushed it.